Hey there guys, Tom here. Welcome back to my movie channel and thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of the brand new Rian Johnson directed movie, Glass Onion. Glass Onion stars Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Catherine Hahn, Kate Hudson's in this movie. My God, Kate Hudson. And this is, of course, the next installment of the franchise, of course, following on from Knives Out, released a couple of years ago, which I love that movie so much. I don't really want to call this movie a sequel because it's not really a sequel. It's just another adventure with Detective Benoit Blanc, which is why the title of this movie makes no sense. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. It really should be a Benoit Blanc mystery. But anyway, if you guys haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notifications bell, and let me know what you think of Glass Onion if you've seen it in the comment section below. Let's carry on the discussion right down there. A tech genius billionaire by the name of Miles Bron, played by Edward Norton Jr., brings a bunch of his closest friends to his private island so they can play a murder mystery game. And as happens with these kind of movies, somebody gets murdered and Detective Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, has to solve the murder. Now, as I said before, I love the first Knives Out movie. I really did. I think that movie is absolutely wonderful. It made my top 10 of the year it came out. It's freaking fantastic. Whatever you think of Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi, throw it out. Knives Out is fantastic. And so, you know, when Netflix acquired the rights to do the next two installments of this franchise, I was like, that's interesting. Under Netflix, their original movies track record is not great, but you've got Rian Johnson back writing and directing. That's a really good sign. So I went to see Glass Onion last night. I got to see it in theaters. Very happy about that. This movie's really, really good. I enjoyed this movie a great deal. Daniel Craig as this character is amazing. Like, he was great in the first film. This movie, you get a little bit more of his, you know, personal, private life, and it really delves into him more as a character, like, and as a person than it did in Knives Out. And I will say, for the most part, I really, really enjoyed this film. I really did. The first act of this movie is a little bit, I want to say messy. It's a little bit here or there. Like, it's off to a pretty slow start. Like, I really, at the beginning of this movie, I really wasn't fully as invested as I wanted to be. I was like, what is going on here? And it's I'm not going to lie, like, it's a little bit of a mess to get through. But once you get to, like, the private island and they're all there and things are happening and all the dialogue, all the conversations between all these characters starts happening and you get into the main plot of the movie, then it just takes off. And from there on in, it's a hell of a good time. And what really amazes me about both Knives Out and Glass Onion is that you have a movie with, what, 8 main characters, 10 main characters, and they take the time in this movie so naturally. Like, it doesn't even feel like it's forced or anything. It's so naturally. You just get to know these characters and who they are just through the dialogue and the conversations. And you know, in a 2 hour and 10-minute movie or something, you already feel like you've known these characters for longer than that. Like, Rian Johnson really does well when he's writing his own original characters, and he does such a good job of that you feel like you know these people, so that when shit starts going wrong and crazy things happen, you're invested in almost every single one of these people's lives. And I was really nervous, like, you know, the setup for the movie, like I said, you have Edward Norton's character who's a tech genius, billionaire, whatever, and, you know, he's brought these people, his friends, to this island to play a murder mystery game. Like, you gotta solve my murder. That's not a spoiler. That is the plot of the movie. And, like, I was like, really? Like, of course, like, this is gonna get really, really tropey. And, like, of course, they're gonna solve his murder. Like, and they didn't go the way I thought they were gonna go. They didn't. And I really like that. And of course, Rian Johnson, that's another one of the reasons I really appreciate his films, is because I never know where he's going to go next. He's not a predictable storyteller. And I really love that about his movies. Even something like The Last Jedi, whatever you think about it, it was different and unique, and you didn't really know where he was going to take that. It was the same with Knives Out, with Looper, and now Glass Onion. The thing with Glass Onion 2, and this is going to be a bit hit or miss for people, is I think this movie definitely goes a little bit sillier than Knives Out did. And I don't mean sillier necessarily in a bad way, because I thought all the jokes were hilarious. I thought, you know, the sillier aspects of this movie really worked for me personally. But I can see how this Knives Out, I always said this, that Knives Out rode the line pretty much perfectly between murder, like a genuine murder mystery and a parody of a murder mystery. Like it's sort of straddled that line perfectly. Glass Onion, I can sort of see it leaning more into the parody side of it. And that, depending on who you are and how this movie hits you, depends on how you're going to feel about some of the sillier, more comedic aspects of this film. But I thought the humor really worked, and especially Benoit Blanc. He's so funny in this movie. Some of the lines that Daniel Craig delivers in this film, so perfect, so funny. And I thought the murder mystery and all the surprises and the twists and the turns were all done really well. And Glass Onion, again, it matches the Knives Out in the sense that the dialogue is really what makes these movies. Because if the dialogue isn't there and the fun energy isn't there, then these movies don't work as well as they do. And, I enjoyed something like Kenneth Branagh's Death on the Nile, but when you compare that to something like Knives Out and Glass Onion, Death on the Nile was really missing that fun aspect to it. And these Rian Johnson murder mystery movies have that element of fun. Now, overall, do I like Glass Onion as much as Knives Out? No, I actually think Knives Out is a better movie. I think Knives Out has almost like perfect pacing, whereas Glass Onion, the pacing is a little bit hit or miss in certain spots. Like, overall, it was fine. I wasn't bored really at any point, but I think really in that first act, and then, here or there, you're like, do we really need to hear this conversation? Do we really need to, that or that? But overall, I really enjoyed Glass Onion. I still think Knives Out is the better movie, but Glass Onion, had a great time with it, gets a thumbs up from me. If you guys have seen Glass Onion, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it. And if you haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that notifications bell so you never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.